Hello and welcome to this little Ultimate Hold'em Timer Display Designer tutorial. Here we're going to create a very basic display design so you can see how the editor works and understand the basics on how to create these designs. Let's go ahead and start. Let's say we want to create this little design here, which has all the basics information that you would need in a tournament. Nothing special, but I think it will suit our need here to explain the basics very well. So the first thing, if you want to create a basic any design, if you want, you need to imagine how to split the design into containers. Since the UHT Designer thinks in containers and components, we need to pre-split the available space into containers. And each container can then hold information like the blinds here, or the level, or the timer, or whatever. And the designer allows us to split the content always horizontally or vertically. So if we look at this design, you can see that we have basically 3 lines or 3 rows of content here. And if you would first split this design, it would look like this. We would split the upper part, the middle, and the bottom part. So now we need to continue splitting until every container has only one kind of information inside it. As you can see here at the top, it's already okay since it only has the tournament name. But in the middle we have the timer here, we have the blinds, we have the text, and so on. And at the bottom there's also more than one information inside it. So we need to split again. And this time we will split horizontally, like this. As you can see, we have now separated the bottom part. We have only buy-in information and only starting stack information. This is fine. Here we only have the timer. It's also great. But here we still have too much information in only one container. So we need to split this single container again, and this time vertically again. As you can see, we have now a few more containers, but at least we have finally managed to give every container only one piece of information. And if we want to visualize it a bit, we can do it like this. Imagine we have here 3 basic containers, and each of those containers with more than one information, so the second and the third one, we need to split again, like this. So we have inside the second container, we have 2 more containers with the information. And now we have to split this container here again to separate it into 4 other containers. It may be looking a bit complicated, but trust me, it's pretty simple when we just start with the design. So now we can go ahead and switch to the designer and try to split our design like we imagined it here. This is how the designer looks when you first open it. And you already have your playground here where you can create your design by splitting it. We said we first have to split vertically into 3 different containers. This is what we've done here. The upper container is fine because it only has the name, but the middle one we need to split horizontally, and the third one also. We can always have a look back at our plan here. So we need the right one here to hold 4 different kinds of informations. So we need 4 containers on the right. All right, so select the container and say you want to split it vertically and create 4 different brackets or 4 containers for the information. And now we're already done. We have completed everything and we have the same layout here as we wanted. So we can now start and go ahead and assign content to our containers. So now we have pre-split our containers, and now we can start to make it look like an actual timer. So let's go from top to bottom and select our topmost container. As you can see, you're offered with a bunch of predefined components which you can insert inside it, like for example, I don't know, let's say the current level. You can see it already is displayed here as a preview, and so you know what it will look like and at the end. But this is not the right information that we imagined for the container to have, since we wanted to have the tournament name up here. So let's remove this component again. And since we don't have a predefined component for the tournament name, we will just take a simple text. And then we can go here to the component options and select content. And now we could also enter our tournament name here. But this would hard code the value. But since we want to reuse our template that we create here with different tournaments, we of course want the template to display the later configured tournament name. And this is why we will use a placeholder. As you can see, we have many different placeholders here, but right now we only want to have the tournament name. We click on it and it will be copied to the clipboard, and then we can just paste it here. As you can see, this placeholder called tournament name will result in the actual tournament name that is configured later by the user on the display. So perfect, we already have this covered. Let's select the next container, and as you remember, here we wanted to have our level timer, and this is exactly what we will select. We have here our level timer. It's already in a preview. Wonderful, we're done here. So let's go ahead to the next one. Here we actually want our current level to be displayed, if you remember. The next one, let's check, was the current blinds of the level, of course. We select the container and select blind display. And as you can see, it's already inserted. On the left, we have some more options. For example, we could choose which separator icon to use, or or which character should be displayed between the blinds. And on the upper side, we can choose for which level we want the blinds to be displayed. If it's 0, it means the current level, but we could also change it and display levels which are in the future right now. But since we want to display the current levels here below the level, of course, we choose level 0, sorry. So the next part is again some text. It just says next up. So we enter a text component here and call it next up. Easy. The next one is again a blind display, but this time it's not the current level, but the next level. So wonderful, we're almost finished here. At the bottom, we have our buy-in information. Since we also don't have buy-in predefined component, we just choose text and insert here the text buy-in. And then we look for a template, which is called the same. As you can see, we can find buy-in here. Just copy it, paste it here, and as you can see, it already gets rendered the way we want it. Wonderful. Let's repeat this one for our starting stack. Insert a text component, write some text or a caption. Then look for the right template, like starting stack in this case. Insert it here, and as you can see, we already almost finished our design.